Hello and welcome. So today we are going to be reviewing the latest from Initio, which is Can't Get Enough. Now, Can't Get Enough is a fragrance that has not launched yet. It was kindly sent to me by the Initio team, and it is scheduled to be released October 1st. Now, this fragrance will be in addition to the Carnal Blends collection. And if you are familiar with the Carnal Blends collection, you know that the fragrances are typically ones that evoke a feeling of sensual, like sensuality, sexy, alluring. They are designed to make you feel a certain kind of way. They all give you that exact same feel. And this one, I have to tell you, is no exception. But we are going to talk in detail about it. I'm going to, of course, give you a detailed review. I've had the opportunity to use it for 2 days in a row. And I'm also going to be ranking my entire Carnal Blends collection for you and letting you know where this one lands. I do own all of the fragrances that are part of the Carnal Blends collection. So let's see where this one lands, because to date, my favorite has always been Side Effect. So let's go ahead and jump right in. But before we do so, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. Now, Can't Get Enough, as I said in the opening, will be an addition to the Carnal Blends collection, and it has been described as an ambery floral fragrance. It does come in the Extrait de Parfum concentration, and it will be available October 1st. This is a fragrance that opens up beautifully. It is a bit citrusy, and I know that citrusy notes have not been disclosed, but to me, the fragrance opens up with a citrusy quality, a very strong floral presence where there is a very beautiful, young, freshly bloomed, crisp rose. The rose is just beautifully, beautifully done. Very, very impressive. And I don't know if you're familiar, but within the Carnal Blends, there's another fragrance that is really very much about the note of rose, which is Atomic Rose. Just in case you're familiar, I want you to know from the get-go that the rose here is completely different. This one is very young, freshly bloomed. You can almost smell how it just opened up. It is a very, very beautiful opening experience. As the journey continues, that fresh rose is wrapped in a fresh, spicy quality. The citrusiness that you pick up in the opening is no longer present, but the scent still has a certain degree of airiness to it, and the rose continues to be a very fresh and crisp rose that has now been wrapped in a note of pink pepper, because within that fresh, spicy quality, the one note that I pick up clearly is pink pepper. Now, midway in the olfactory journey, the fragrance starts to become a little bit sweeter. Not very sweet, but it does become a bit sweeter than what you experienced in the opening, and the level of airiness decreases a bit, even though it continues to have a certain degree of airiness. But midway in the olfactory journey, the caramel makes its appearance, followed immediately by a very present vanilla note. But the caramel and the vanilla really are at the same level of intensity. One does not take, a step over the other. And at all that, the rose continues to be very much the star of the fragrance. So as you're approaching the dry down, the scent is still very much about that freshly bloomed, crisp rose with a tad of sweetness to the scent. And it also has that fresh, spicy quality that will not leave the fragrance all the way to the dry down and throughout the wear of the fragrance. But at all that, the scent is extremely beautifully sensual. Now, interestingly enough, it has not been disclosed, but midway in the olfactory journey, in addition to that rose, I clearly pick up on a faint jasmine note. And I don't know if jasmine has been added, but I am picking up on a jasmine kind of scent, a bit faint and in the backdrop, but it is definitely there. At the dry down, you are going to get the most beautifully sensual, like exquisite scent that kind of borders on being gourmand, but it's really not a gourmand, where the vanilla and the caramel play a key role, but the rose continues to be the star on a backdrop of like a faint spiciness and that ambery overall quality. But the scent is absolutely alluring and sensually beautiful. To me, this is indeed a very, very addictive scent that I consider to be very much unisex, and if I had to pick a lean, I would say it may lean a tad to the feminine side, but I can see a gent or a lady wearing it without any problem. The performance of this fragrance, as most Initio fragrances, if not all, is just absolutely perfect because it will give you a full day wear to the tune of exceeding the 8-hour mark without having to overspray or respray throughout the day. It also has a very strong projection that will get you up to the 2-hour mark. And after that, it does become a scent bubble for like a couple more hours, and then an intimate skin scent that will give you whiffs of the fragrance all throughout the day. To me, this is perfect for the seasons of like spring, fall, and winter, the opening of spring, because for me, this is really perfect for cooler weather. I can't imagine myself pulling this during a very hot summer day, but for cooler weather, I think that this is just perfection. At all that, I think it is perfect for the ages of 25 plus, and you can pretty much use it for any occasion, day or night. Now, is this a scent or a fragrance that I would wear to the gym or to go to Pilates or yoga or ride my bike or go jogging? Absolutely not, because this is a very present type of scent that may be a bit offensive to others around you, or may even choke you if you're in one of those occasions where you will be perspiring. All in all, I think that this is yet another solid release coming from the house of Initio, and I give it a 9.5 out of 10. All right, so now that we're done with the review, let's go ahead and talk about the Carnal Blends collection. And I'm going to share with you my ranking, right? Now that we've really taken a close look at Can't Get Enough, let's see where does Can't Get Enough land as it relates to all of the fragrances that I own from the Carnal Blends collection. To date, and before this new Can't Get Enough launches, there's a total of 5 fragrances in that collection, and I own them all, and they are all deep loves for me for different reasons. So as I go along, I will give you a little bit of information about each, and of course, I will share the ranking. Now, in the Carnal Blends, there are several fragrances, and some of them you may be familiar with, like Atomic Rose, Narcotic Delight, Psychedelic Love, High Frequency. So let's talk about them. All right, so for me now, coming in at number 6, because now there's a total of 6 fragrances in the Carnal Blends collection, but coming in at number 6, I would have to say that it is definitely High Frequency. Now, High Frequency is a beautifully seductive kind of fragrance that has as key notes the notes of magnolia and almond, and together they play beautifully. Now, coming in at number 5, I have Psychedelic Love. And Psychedelic Love is a fragrance that has a beautiful mix of like rose, heliotropin, and hedione. Now, if you're wondering, okay, Arahi, well, that's another rose fragrance. How does it differ? They are completely different because that combination of rose, hedione, and heliotropin makes for a very different scent, and actually a very kind of different effect compared to Can't Get Enough and even Atomic Rose. Coming in at number 4 is a fragrance that I absolutely love. I absolutely love all these fragrances, but I have to rank them as always for you. But coming in at number 4, we are talking about Narcotic Delight. Now, Narcotic Delight is truly all about, for me, like a boozy cherry. And that boozy cherry is juicy, very realistic. There's nothing synthetic about it, but at the same time, it is so sexy and sensually alluring. But that is definitely coming in at number 4. Now, coming in at number 3 has got to be the most bold rose fragrance that I have in my entire collection across the board. And this one is Atomic Rose. Now, Atomic Rose is not just about the rose because it also has a very strong like vanilla presence and some spicy notes that add quite a bit of edge. Typically, when I talk about Atomic Rose, I describe it as an in-your-face kind of rose scent that is also edgy. But at the same time, it is very sexy and sensually alluring, as all of the fragrances in this collection. Now, we are down to the last two in the ranking. So, of course, if you're familiar with the Carnal Blends collection, you know that it's come down to either the new Can't Get Enough or the very beloved Side Effect. And I am sorry to say that Side Effect is now at number 2. Now, Side Effect continues to be such an incredible fragrance. Absolutely love it. To me, this is the perfect mix of tobacco, rum, and vanilla, giving it a very sexy. This is not just sensually alluring. This is like a sexy beast. This is what I definitely described as a sexy beast type of scent. Very beautiful, perfect for date night and for when you want to feel sensually beautiful and alluring. And needless to say, coming in at number 1, we have a new number 1 in my collection, and that is definitely Can't Get Enough. Let me just say that for me, the name is perfect for the scent and the fragrance itself because Can't Get Enough is really how I feel about this scent. When you spray this on your skin, you are going to want to sniff yourself over and over again. And it is such a beautiful scent that lingers and carries in such a smooth and sensual way. And that rose is just so beautiful. All right, so we've reached the end of today's review, and I can't tell you how excited I was to share this with you because this one is different. I am telling you, this one brings something more to the table compared to the others. I think that this is a very beautiful addition to the Carnal Blends collection, and I think you are going to absolutely fall in love with it. Do I think this is a safe blind buy? I think that if you are into a very different and edgy kind of rose scent, not a classic scent, you know, not like a classic rose type of scent, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then this is definitely one that you want to try. All right, fam, thank you so much as always for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.